A very good morning to Professor Dr. Nur Ahmad. We are a group of project for BITP 3433 Information Technology and Database Security. I'm Brittany.
I'm Ikma Akila.
I'm Nura Aina Suha.
I'm Nur Anis Hazwani.
So
And
we will proceed to the question 1 directly. I will pass it to Ikma.
okay, now I will start by presenting the implementation of our database access control policy, specifically focusing on time-based access and account locking mechanism using Oracle DBMS. For question 1A is a time-based access control. For the first requirement, we implemented a policy where users are restricted to accessing the system within specific time limits. For instance, one user might only have access from 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. To enforce this, we utilize a database log-on trigger. As shown in figure 1.1, this trigger automatically checks the current time when a user attempts to log in and deny access if it falls outside their permitted windows. Next, for question 1B is account locking policy. Next, we implemented a security measure to prevent brute force attacks by locking accounts after 3 failed login attempts. The process involved 4 main steps. First, we log in as the system administrator, which is sys.dba, and then we created a security profile named log policy and set the failed login attempts limit to 3. After that, we assign this profile to the relevant user accounts. And lastly, step 4, we ensure that resource limits were enabled in the database to activate the policy.
Okay, next I will present for trigger. The code used before logon trigger to control session availability. When a user attempts to log in the database, check the system clock sysdate. So if user is user 1 and the time is outside the 8 a.m. and 4 a.m. window, the control throw a REST application error. This kill the connection attempt before the session even start. So the second untuk for step 2, when you implement an automatic logout policy using field login attempt parameter, you create a security profile and assign it to the user. If user they enter wrong 3 times, the account status automatically change to log. This a direct defense against brute force attack when the hacker use a script thousands of password combination. Next, while the first part of code deal with when people log in, this part deal with how they secure the identity. We implement rule that prevent user from picking easy password like 12345 or password 123. The system check for at least 8 characters, must include mixed uppercase, lowercase and numbers. User cannot reuse the same password immediately. Okay, for the next code, okay, for the next code, we use a restrict access based on specific conditions such as use and after logon on database trigger. Wherever user attempt to connect the database, execute the script, it will check the system that using sysdate #24. If the user is user 1 and if it outside the permit hour, it trigger REST application error. Next. This code define the rule how many times we use user can fill their login before log out. Okay, for the last code, this for private database row level security. this code function, you can create a function that return a predicate, a logic condition like stuid, p034 and so on. This can invisible filter if the two students run the exact same query, the database automatically attached to hiddenware.
Moving on to the technical implementation for part 2A, we focus on minimum password length. We enforce a policy requiring all database password to be at least 8 characters long. First, step 1, login as is DBA. And then step 2, create custom password verification function. And then next, for step 3, assign to profile to activate the length and complexity checks. And then for step 4, testing and evidence of policy enforcement. This is the output for 2A, that it will be trigger an Oracle error, effectively preventing the use of short, easily hackable password. And then for 2B, we enhance security further by enforcing password complexity. This policy requires password to contain a mix of different character classes, including at least one uppercase letter, one digit, and one punctuation mark. And then it will SQL alter user student 1 identified by student 123, and then it will error at line 1, and then it will Aura password must contain upper, lower, number, and special character.
So next will be with a survey. So firstly, we have a survey among 35 students in University Technical Malaysia, Melaka, UTM. This survey is involved 35 students from various faculties, and we examine their awareness of data and data security. It evaluate whether the student historical knowledge translate into practical understanding of security threats, such as like SQL injections and authorization access. This study also assessed that student awareness of security, best practice, and the effectiveness of university training in preparing them in handle the real world security challenges. So the first for demography will always ask with what is your gender. So in 35 of the student answers, we can show that the male is more than the female, which is the male have 54.3% and the female have 45.7%. This distribution indicate the male students constitute the majority of survey respondents of this study. So next, question 2 for the demography will be, what is the faculty? As we introduce, say that we get from different faculties, right? So in these faculties, the large one will be FDMK. FDMK Faculty Technology of Maklumat. So this is the uh our 35 students involved in these faculties, which has facts, FTKE, FTKK like that. So next will be we're asking for what is the year of study of the students. So mostly we have a lot of second year students, but very lessly for fourth year students. So next will be knowledge of data security. We're asking that I'm aware of basic principle IT database security like confidential, integrity availability CIA. So in this result, 35 responded in this survey. A total of 24 students expected positive level of understanding, with 16 students we strongly agreed in level 5, and at student 22.9% agree with level 4. This majority suggests that wait, this majority suggests that a significant portion for participants feel confidential in their grasp. So next will be we asking for is their understanding the common threat to IT database security, like phishing and authorizing access. In this survey, we gathered there is 30, 15 students, 42.9% is agree with level 4, and 13 students, 37.1 is strongly agree that they understand this specific threat. So this is providing a practical hands-on experience that they have in UTEM is very good for the understanding, which they know what is the common threat of IT and database security. So the next one will be we are asking them for importance of access control, encryptions, and multi-factor authentications in protecting the database. The result will be there is mostly they are strongly disagree and agree they are aware for important access encryption and multi-factor authentication in protecting the database. Neutral stand was taken by 9 responders. 25.7% is indicate some level of uncertain or needed for functional classifications regarding their specific security controls. The margins of responders demonstrated the positive perspective, with 9 individuals, 25.7% is agreeing, and 17 responders, 48.6 strongly agreeing with this statement. So to address this, UTEM could consider offer target training sessions that provide in real-world examples and hands-on lab exercise, such as configuring database encryptions or implementing MFF protocols. So next will be asking them there are no database encryption will help security sensitive database and prevent unauthorized access or not. In this survey, they strongly show that a high level of confidence for students. Only one respondents will remain neutral, indicating very little uncertain across the group. So this result will indicate that nearly all surveyed students believe that they understand all the roles of database encryptions in preventing unauthorized access. This overwhelming positive perceptions, the presence of student in UTEM is middle range agreements level suggests that they will be familiar with the concept, but they may not have master advanced encryption technicals. So next will be we asking them, do you feel confident in identifying and responding to potential security threats? In this, the result will be there are confidence in identifying and responding the potential security threat to short variable but general positive threat. and there is no students is disagree this statement, with only one responder that disagree suggests that all students feel they possess at least a baseline of level of capacities. So, however, a significant of the cohort 13 responder maintaining a neutral state, which indicate these substance levels uncertainty regarding their practice ability to manage the response to the real-world security incidents. So, in addressing, UTEM could implement more advanced and hands-on training such as blue teams, defense simulator, or live incident response to workshops. By moving beyond conceptual learning to practicals application in control environments like that, the university can help in translation neutrals and hesitant students forward to high level professional red lines and technical confidentials. So next we are asking behavior and practice. So this I will pass to my members to more describing.
So I would like to continue about the survey about behavior and practice. So we asked the question about regularly update and apply security patch to PC laptop. So the results show the most responder practice are regular security patch management. A total of 37% strongly agree, scale 5, and 28.6 agree, scale for 4, that regularly update and apply security patch to the PC or laptop they manage. Additionally, 31.4% select natural scale, indicating moderate or occasional compliance. Only 2.9 disagree and none strongly disagree. Overall, this suggests a high level awareness and positive behavior toward maintaining system security through update, although some responder may still lack consistent. Next question, we asked about consistently use strong password and multi-factor authentication, secure at PC and laptop. So, the finding indicates strong adoption of password security and MFA practice. More than half of the respondents, which is 54.3%, strongly agree, while 17.1% agree, showing that a significant majority consistent applies strong authentication measure. About 20% were natural and 8.6% disagree, with no respondents strongly disagree. This demonstrates that authentication security is well understood and winly implemented through a small group may still further guidance or enforcement. Okay, for the third question, we ask about ensure the access to sensitive data is restricted based on the role-based access control or RBAC. For access control practice, 40% of respondents strongly agree and 22.9% agreed that restrict access to sensitive data using RBAC or similar method. Meanwhile, 31.4% choose natural and a small number, 5.8, combine disagree or strongly disagree. This result suggests that most respondents recognize the importance of access management, but the relative high natural responses indicate that RBAC may not be fully implemented or clearly understood by all participants. For the next question, we ask about the regularly backup database and implemented disaster recovery plan. So the result indicate that the most respondent practice regular database backup and have disaster recovery plan in place. A total 28.6% strongly agree and 17.1% agreed, while 25.7% selected a high agreement level, showing overall strong commitment toward data protection and recovery readiness. Additionally, 17.1 choose a moderated level, suggesting partial implementation. Only a small proportion, 11.4%, combined report low agreement and none strongly disagree. These findings suggest that backup and disaster recovery practice are generally well implemented, although some respondents may still lack fully formalized or tested recovery plans. And the last question we asked about actively monitor and audit my PC, laptop and database for potential security. For security monitoring and auditing, most respondents demonstrate positive behavior. 40% agree and 34.3% strongly agree that they actively monitor and audit their system for usual activity. Meanwhile, 14.3% were neutral and 11.5% disagree or strongly disagree. This shows that most respondents are proactive in detecting security incidents, but a small group may not consistently monitor their system, which could increase vulnerability to unnoticed security breach. That's all for me.
For perceived risk, in figure 3.14, security patches and updates. For our first point, 82.9% of students agree that failing to update security patches is a major risk. This shows that most students understand the importance of keeping software up to date to prevent breaches. And then next, for figure 3.15, weak or repetitive passwords, 77.2% of respondents believe that weak or repetitive passwords make it much easier for unauthorized users to access systems. This confirms that students are aware of the risk of poor password habits. And then for number 3, in figure 3.16, lack of access control, RBAC, in figure 3.16, we see that highest concern, 85.7% of students are worried that poor access control at the university could lead to data leaks. This is the biggest security fear among our participants. And then next, number 4. In figure 3.17, which is show unsuspicious database backups. Regarding backups, 82.9% of students agree that a lack of proper backup procedure will lead to significant data loss during an incident. They view backups as a critical safety net. And then, next in figure 3.18, shown failure to monitor system. Finally, in this survey, 82.8% of students believe that not monitoring system for suspicious activity increases the risk of undetected breaches. Almost everyone agree that constant monitoring is necessary for safety.
Next, for training and research, for question 1, based on figure 3.19, the survey examining whether respondents feel they receive sufficient training in the university courses on IT and database security practices collected respondents from 35 UTM students. So the data revealed that a generally positive perception of the curriculum with a combined 60% of respondents expressing agreement. Specifically, 31.4% selected level 4 agree and 10 students, 28.6% selected level 5 strongly agree. However, a significant portion of the cohort, 34.3%, choose the natural option suggesting that while they have received training, they may lack the confidence to implement these practices in real-world scenario. In contrast, only small minority felt the training was insufficient, with one respondent 2.9 disagreeing and 2.9 strongly disagreeing. For question 2, the question 2 is the resources provided by my university are adequate to help me understand IT and database security concept. With reference to figure 3.2, the survey data show that positive sentiment, as no respondents strongly disagree with the statement and only one individual choose to disagree. A significant portion of the cohort, 34.3, strongly agree that the results are sufficient, matching to the 34.3 who remain neutral. Additionally, the 28.6 express agreement with the statement. While the majority of students find the current resources helpful for learning basic security concepts, the high frequency of neutral respondents suggests that there is still room for improvement. For number 3, based on figure 3.21, the survey result assess whether the university curriculum provides sufficient practical exercises for applying IT and database security skills among 35 respondents. The data indicates a strong positive consensus, with the highest proportion of students, 40% of agreeing with the statement. Additionally, 28.6 strongly agree, which matches 28.6 who remain neutral. Minimal dissatisfaction was recorded, as only one respondent disagreed and none strongly disagreed. For question 4, according to the figure 3.22, which examines whether students receive guidance and support from lecturers or staff when facing challenges related to IT or database security topic. The survey collected responses from 35 UTEM students. The data indicates that the highest percentage of respondents is 42.9% agree with the statement, while 22.9 strongly agree, and this reflects a generally positive perception of staff availability, through 28.6 remain neutral. For level 2 on the Likert scale, which represent disagree, only 5.7 selected this option, and no respondents strongly disagree. And for number 5, Figure 3.23 illustrates whether security-related policy and guidelines provided by the university, such as acceptable use policy and secure handling of data, are perceived as clear and helpful in understanding real-world security practices. According to the data collected from 35 respondents, there is strong positive consensus. No respondent strongly disagree with the statement. Only a small minority of 11.4 disagree, while 20% remain neutral. Those in the neutral category may feel that while the policy are clear, they might lack sufficient real-world examples to be fully impactful. The majority of the cohort expressed high level of satisfaction, with 28.6 agreeing, and the largest group, 40% strongly agreeing with these guidelines are effective. For the conclusion, according to the survey, the structure of them has different degrees of practical application, but is highly aware of the theoretical significance of data security. There is no noticeable decline in confidence when it comes to recognize and address active threats, with 37.1 maintaining only moderate level of confidence and integrity. Even though the fact that it's sizable majority of respondents, over 68%, claim strong awareness of fundamental IT security principle. In terms of behavior, the data highlights a security gap just 28.6% regularly implement comprehensive disaster recovery plans or backups, whereas 54.3 consistently utilize strong password and multi-factor authentication. Furthermore, 85.7% of students express concern about the university access control procedure, worrying that insufficient role-based access control could result in serious breaches. This result highlight the need more to move theory and implement automated security policy to safeguard sensitive information. In conclusion, database security is important because it protects sensitive information from common threats like SQL injection and unauthorized access, which 80% of UTM students identify as high-risk factor. Implementing security policy like FMA and encryption is essential to mitigate data loss and maintain institutional trust.
So this is all for our presentation for informations, data information technology and database security of the group projects. Thanks for watching our presentations.